Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
This is temporary repair. It's just so we don't have to struggle driving that stretch and or maintenance of that stretch.
The end date for work on a busy stretch of road in Fargo may be pushed back, and there's more. Once it's done, another section along that same road will be closed for several weeks.
As Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero discovered, the city says it's had to put a Band-Aid on a major problem.
This is a common scene along 32nd Avenue South near Essentia Hospital. At least one lane has been closed because of road work. Those who work nearby say they've seen the construction's impact.
During like 5 o'clock and stuff, it's like traffic jam. You see cars lined up way down there. So
even without road work, this is a busy area with Essentia, Jiffy Lube, and Papa John's sharing the same intersection.
Pretty much congested and a lot of traffic, and sometimes almost accidents happen here and stuff.
This area knows all too well about road works. A couple of years ago, and a couple of blocks to the west, crews were widening the road that crossed the interstate. This time, the city is replacing concrete with asphalt, a job that the city says needed to be done.
The spring, just the road deteriorated so bad it was just impossible to manage the potholes.
Public Works Supervisor Lee Anderson adds that this project was in the budget. It's taking longer because crews aren't allowed to work overtime because of the higher snow removal costs during the winter. If you thought the headache would be over by next week when they reopen both lanes on 32nd Avenue South by Essentia, be prepared.
25 Street to University Drive will be next on the hit list because, again, the pavement's reached the end of its lifespan.
That project is expected to take longer than the one by Essentia since it's a larger area. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
Another area of Fargo that's experiencing more road work is along 10th Street North. Crews have torn up a stretch around 10th and 4th Avenues. This is an area where work was being done a year ago. We're told that it's part of a larger project being handled by the Department of Transportation. While traffic is being detoured now, the road should be open by mid-July.
Over in West Fargo, construction detours and delays have heavy-duty trucks driving through West Fargo neighborhoods, and some are going down roads that weren't made for their vehicles. Officials say at first the semi-drivers simply drove over the middle of the 19th Avenue West roundabout because they were too big to fit on the road. Now that the roundabout has been filled with rocks, the trucks are now driving through the grass, leaving deep ruts. To solve this problem, the roundabout has been temporarily closed to replace the grass with concrete. But some neighbors think the roundabout itself is the problem.
We've got, large school buses, we've got snow plows, we've got even people when they're moving, they're big semis, they need to get through here. So then it kind of adds to the chaos a little bit because then they're having to back up a whole block all the way back to Cheyenne or whatnot.
The roundabout will be closed from June 11th through the 14th, and during that time, drivers are asked to use 6th Street West and 18th Avenue West.
We are getting an exclusive look tonight into a drug bust in Alexandria, Minnesota. The Douglas County SWAT team executed a search warrant on Tuesday on the 2100 block of Fillmore Street. During their search, officials found heroin, meth, and other drugs with an estimated street value of over $15,000. 4 people were arrested in connection with that bust. An investigation is underway after a juvenile was found dead in a car floating in a river. Authorities say the car was found behind 110 Sargent Street in Crookston. Emergency responders spotted a juvenile in the vehicle. The female was taken to UND's medical examiner in Grand Forks. No foul play is suspected.
Union representatives spent this morning out in the sun in Thief River Falls, Minnesota, where they say a construction subcontractor is cheating some workers out of their wages. Millennium Concrete was hired by McShane Construction. McShane is working for DigiKey. That's the world's 5th largest electronic distributor, a $300 million expansion project. Union reps say of the 20 or so Millennium Concrete workers, about 7 have approached the unions about wage theft. The reps say they want to put the pressure on the company that hired Millennium. DigiKey says it was just recently made aware of the allegations, and they're working to understand the issue and will continue to monitor the situation.
As you head to the lake this summer, there's something to keep in mind as you drive farther away from Fargo-Moorhead or any other larger city.
The cell service tends to drop off in rural areas near lakes, and that's not ideal when you have an emergency. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard went to Lakes Country today and tells where you might lose your cell service.
You may have been cruising down the lake and had a startling sight at the top of your phone.
It depends on the lake, but the farther north I get and like the more away from the shoreline, I pretty much have dodgy service.
That's the sight of no bars or cell service.
That would be really terrible. It would probably, we're so used to having our phones at all time. I probably don't really even know what I would do. I would hope that I could flag somebody down, I suppose.
It does depend on where you are in Becker County for service.
The sheriff tells me that there are problems with phone service in the Becker County region, but you're going to find that more northeast where the lakes are. So right here we are located in the Detroit Lakes area, but it's more so up here where you're going to have problems with that cell phone service. We took a trip to Hawley today to meet up with Minnesota State Senator Ken Eakin. He says phone service is more of a statewide issue.
There's still, a number of underserved or unserved areas in the state that need to be hooked up to high-speed internet.
The purple on the map represents the underserved regions. In the red, well, that area isn't served at all, which is why service can affect you when you're out on the lake. But some people, like Sharon Stake,
I don't have a cell phone.
Don't need that cellular device.
I live 9 miles out in the country and I like the peace and quiet. I don't want a phone to be listening to.
But if you're going to head out to the lake and you run into the issue of having no service,
Do whatever they can to get somebody's attention, whether that's a yell or blow a whistle.
or honk your horn. He also says it's smart to let someone know when you're leaving and coming back from your trip. In Detroit Lakes, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
To learn more about broadband communications in the state of Minnesota, go to our website at valleynewslive.com.
Every year, the state of North Dakota auctions off fleet vehicles that are no longer needed. This year, for the first time, people can join this auction over the internet. The lot where the used vehicles are kept has been open all week for interested parties to kick the tires and lift the hood on vehicles that are going on the auction block. Online bidders post their bids, and the auctioneer is notified in real time through an earpiece. The next state fleet auction will be held on September 18th. Sometimes it's the little things that mean the most. The YMCA teamed up with FM Walleyes, Husky Bass Fishing Club, and other supporters to create some fun for veterans in our area.
The veterans were taken to the Big Cormorant Lake for an afternoon of fishing. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly was there and has our story.
Larry Kitchen is a Vietnam veteran who served from 1959 to 1964. Kitchen says he was in the hospital when he learned about a special day where veterans can come together and take a day out on the water to go fishing.
While I was in the VA at the hospital, the notation came up and I said I wanted to go. I didn't think I'd be able to, but by golly, they brought me out here and they took care of me.
Kitchen says since then, he's been coming to these fishing trips for 9 years. And for him, it's more than just a fishing trip.
This is a day, like I told you earlier, I really look forward to because it's good to see people that do good.
He says it's a day where he feels appreciated and cared for.
All these guys that bring their boats out are great guys, and this is just wonderful out here, and they treat us so good. I like it. I like it.
And these trips for Larry became even more special 3 years ago when his daughter joined him on the boat.
It means a lot to me because, he's getting older and I just cherish these moments.
Michelle is a veteran herself and says she's thankful for the opportunity for all the veterans to come together and have some fun.
We all get to be together, and there's elderly veterans that are from World War II, and then you have stateside veterans like me that never went out of country, and then we all have a camaraderie, and it's just a very nice day.
At the end of the day, whether they caught 1 fish or 5, some of the veterans tell me that it's the experience that leaves them with a smile on their face. In Lake Park, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Both Larry and Michelle tell us that they will continue to take part in this fishing excursion in the years to come, as it holds a very special place in their hearts.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
All right, as we head into our evening, the radar is showing some thunderstorms exiting to the south and the east of the Devil's Lake area as we speak. And some of these showers pressing into Grand Forks right now. Also Cooperstown, a line of showers that lead back all the way to New Rockford. Again, some lightning, some heavy rain, some small hail potential with these cells. And they are right on the doorstep of Grand Forks, East Grand Forks right now, moving over places like the Larimore area. Also Northwood seeing some showers impending. The atmosphere over us pretty dry, so I don't expect a boatload of rainfall from these, but certainly where we see these oranges and reds, a brief heavy shower will be a possibility. Moving into Cooperstown, it's over the Grace City area right now, moving off to the south and east at about 30 miles per hour. This train will continue to make its way. Hutch drew a little line here. Mainly north is where I expect the showers to stay, which means Fargo, we're right on the doorstep of where we will see these showers moving through overnight. Captured a great time lapse of these cumulus clouds growing and dancing and billowing in the skies off to the west and northwest behind the setting sun. As we head through the evening, temperatures remain very comfortable. Wind remains light. And our current condition, 72 in Fargo, 68 in Cavalier and in Valley City. That's the same reading we have right now in Devil's Lake, but just to your south, 73 in Otter Tail County for Fergus Falls. Hour-by-hour forecast shows as we set it into motion that the storms move through the Red River Valley between now and say 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, minus a couple of them. And then as we go through the remainder of the overnight, I expect it to be quiet. So most of us will start our day with quiet conditions, sunny skies, light winds, and temperatures near 60 degrees. By lunchtime, we'll see light and variable winds, abundant sunshine, temperatures returning to near 80 for that lunch hour. We'll be well into the 80s for the afternoon. That weather system that we deal with overnight will be pushing out toward the Twin Cities, meaning our night very quiet for tomorrow. So another summer-like day in Fargo, starting out at 61. We will spend hours in the mid-80s tomorrow afternoon and early evening with sunny skies for the majority of our day. Looks like a lot of 80s across eastern North Dakota, the Red River Valley, and western Minnesota, with afternoon temperatures up near the Lake of the Woods area, closer to those upper 70s and low 80s. All in all, it will be very summer-like. Here is what it looked like last night in Bemidji. The lightning strikes again and the setting sun at the same time. Some damaging storms in southern Beltrami and northern Hubbard County last night. Summer-like weather lovers, enjoy the next 2 days. It looks gusty, dusty, and hot with some 90-degree readings likely. As we go through your Friday, showers and thunderstorms on Saturday as a cold front moves through about midday now. It's a little faster than it looked yesterday. Cools us off into the 60s for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Whew. You can say that again. That'll feel cooler.
It will, won't it?
You bet.